Rage is a game with many guns and ammo types, so what if we only used the one that was considered to be, well, one of the worst? Would it even be possible? That's what I set out to find out. After exiting the Ark, I met up with Dan, who took me back to the Hagar settlement to collect the main fast of this run and some extra supplies. After that, I rode my quad to the Ghost hideout and began the first instance of combat. I feel as if I should take this opportunity to explain the rules. The first and most obvious rule is that I can only attack with the Settler's Pistol. However, I can use different ammos and upgrades for the Settler's Pistol. Also, the use of vehicle weapons and the use of the rocket launcher during the giant mutant fight is permitted, because I'm not going to make this video, for it not to be possible. After clearing the hideout, I went back to the settlement, talked to Dan, and bought a scope for my pistol. This would be one of the most useful things I would buy this run. After that, I talked to Janice, recovered evidence of Juno's corpse, and realigned the tower. After that, I bought some pistol ammo and talked to DR. Then I went back to the Outrigger settlement and acquired another of the upgrades that would be crucial this run, which were Fat Boys. After grinding a lot and collecting 2 of the buggy parts, I killed the first boss in 5 hits and collected the final part. And after returning home, I gave the parts to DR, bought and sold some stuff to Halleck, talked to Dan, and blew up the gate to the rest of the map. After that, I talked to Dan again and drove to Wellspring. After arriving, I talked to Mayor Clayton, and after urging him not to have a son, I talked to Coffer and picked up some new threats. After I talked to Sheriff Black, I bought some miniguns for my buggy and delivered the supplies to Dan. And after having a conversation with Sheriff Black in which he told me that my choice in vehicle offended him and I needed to get an upgrade, I went to Mutant Bash TV to get the sponsorship letter. After killing the Kraken mutant, I raced for the Caprino and talked to Sheriff Black. After I talked to Mayor Clayton, I went to a Feltrite crater and collected some Feltrite, which I then took to my favorite character in Rage, Dr. Cavassier, who told me that my choice in defibrillator offended him and I needed to get an upgrade. I was okay with it though, because it gave me an excuse to visit my favorite location in Rage, the Dead City. After arriving on street level, I killed the Abaddon Warhead, played a Horde minigame, and went down to fight the Kraken mutant. I also encountered the slime mutants, however they weren't too much of a problem.
Hey guys, I'm in New York City just hanging out.
This would be the only time in the run that using something other than the Settler's Pistol is permitted. Subsequent to killing the boss, I grabbed the upgrade, had it installed, talked to Sheriff Black, cleared the Shrouded Bunker, talked to Sheriff Black again, bought some ammo, collected the Ghost Toxin, collected the Mind Control Darts, which I did not use, and finally went to the Authority prison to free Captain Marshall. After arriving in the prison, I fought off the Authority guards and initiated a prison break. After freeing the hot piece of ass that was Captain Marshall, I pushed into the courtyard. Clearing the courtyard was a tedious task, especially given the Authority soldiers' brittle, bullet waster armor, but all in all, it was no trouble. The wannabe Valkyries, however, were a bit more of an issue. In the sections against the Authority, the scope for the pistol really came in handy. One place in which the pistol scope didn't do what I'd hoped was against the mounted turrets in the next area. After I secured the documents for the resistance, I was ready to leave the dead city for the final time, but not before the authorities threw everything they could at me. The scope really came in handy here to combat the snipers. These jetpack boys were extremely satisfying to pop. Cliché mech suit boy here was a little bit more challenging, however, he wasn't too much of an issue. After dispatching of those rabble-rousers, I gave the data to Marshall and headed to Subway Town. Bad news, guys. Marshall let me ride on the battle bus because I'm dying of 16 subs-itis. The only cure is for you guys to subscribe, no matter who you are. You can mute the bell or keep the bell on, I don't care. Just sub, please. I don't want to be on the battle bus anymore. Hey guys, quick intermission. I bet you're wondering where the rest of the Subway Town video is. Well, it's here, in part. You see, I thought I was recording for a good bit of the Subway Town section, and it turns out I wasn't. I still have the ending, and I still have the final mission, but this is what I have of the Subway Town section, so I hope you enjoy it. After that fuck up, I drove to the power station to kill the mob boss. These goons were proving to be pretty challenging due to the amount of armor they all wore, especially the tank spiders. The sheer number of goons in this area was threatening to drain my supply of fat boys. However, the spider tanks were by far the worst. They could climb on ceilings, had miniguns, were highly armored. They were a perfect storm of shit. Once I got the pattern down, however, it was pretty easy to clear these boys. After chatting with Hot Tamale Man, he decided I belonged in the lobby instead of the penthouse, which is just awful. This is when I started to become conscious about the amount of fat boys I was using. The flaming stick guys must be really hated by all the other members of the gang. This was around the time that the mission got pretty annoying, if you ask me. The traps were also pretty tricky. Around now is when my senses were really heightened to the fat boy shortage. This was the first time I used the kill bursts. They seemed okay, but I would always use fat boys as long as I had them. At this point, I was only concerned with the difficulty of the boss fight ahead. After that, I met up with my friends and went to the trap section. Unfortunately, I couldn't use any of the traps, but I could shoot off the balcony. When I returned home, it was time to deal with the Jackals. The Jackals were some of the easier combatants I encountered this run. The crossbow snipers were a little bit more annoying. I made use of the kill burst here again. At this point, my biggest concerns was my A, lack of money, and therefore B, lack of ammo. After role-playing as a dart monkey, I collected the ARC data, cleared the rest of the Jackals, and went back to Marshall. After that, I was instructed to blow up an authority bridge. The most challenging part of this mission was avoiding the stupid-ass tank at the end. After Portman gave me the biggest piece of trash a boy could ask for, I went to the Authority headquarters to complete the run. Also, we're doing this classic style. No narration, just enjoy, watch the final fight. Hey guys, if you're watching this, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I just want to thank you a lot because this video has been so much trouble to get edited and posted. I had to go through 2 microphones just to get decent audio quality. I will ask you again to please think of subscribing. It's free, you know. It's no skin off your ass or my ass. And just want to know if you're a fan, and if you're not a fan, I love you, and you should love yourself. Have a good day, guys, and gamers.